Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to Coffee with Kem Hills. I feel like both of us are like a little springier today.
The sun's shining. It's a little bit
Sleeves
warmer.
are gone. Look at this.
Still, I need to put on some self tanner because I'm a little bit pale, but it's fine.
Do you use self tanner? Because you always look like you have this like really nice summer glow, and I was like, is that just your natural skin?
That's bronzer. But no, not on my. No, this is my natural skin. I haven't done anything.
So you have like a nice sort of.
I have a little bit more of a golden tone to my skin. Yes, my husband and my daughter, though, however, go out into the sun for 5 minutes and are like gloriously tan. They have that olive skin tone that just like, it's so good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
It's so, I don't have that. I'm Irish and Finnish. Like, I don't have that at all. But what's funny is neither does my husband, who's Turkish and Italian, and he thinks he has it. So he goes out in the sun, bakes and burns, and then is like, I don't understand. I used to tan all the time. I'm like, I don't think your skin changed, but whatever. But yeah, and then we had our daughter who is like red hair, white skin, Snow White. I'm like, I'm so sorry, child. I'm so sorry. But yeah. So yeah, this summer is going to be like our first, she was like a little potato last summer. Right. So, she was just covered from head to toe and she wasn't doing much. But this time she's going to be out and about and I'm going to have to like.
Oh, the SPF. Yes, the SPF game is tough.
Yes.
But fun.
I'll be chasing her around with SPF basically. All right, so we have a fun first hot topic. Got $400 a month. Here's how to turn it into a $3 million nest egg, if I can say it, from Buffalo News. Okay, so this was like cool. I liked it. Was good advice, but it's good advice if you're starting early enough.
True. Yes, this definitely has a long time limit on it.
Yes.
And then
because I was like, ooh, tell me how. And I was like, oh, it's too late for me. Okay.
Well,
it's never too late to save.
Never too late to start saving. No. So this was a retirement conversation, saving for retirement. Yes, it's not too late. You should always start. If you haven't started yet, now is better than starting tomorrow.
Right. Of course.
Or in 3 years.
Yeah.
Even if it's not as much as you want to put away now, but getting started is the important part because I think that's the thing that this article kind of really, and this tactic lays out is that by starting early, you really set yourself up for possibly $3.3 million when you are ready to retire.
Yes. So specifically, okay, if you are able to put away $400 a month for over a 43-year period, and your invested savings generate an average annual of 10.5% return, then you'll end up with $3.3 million. So there are some factors involved in just what you're generating, like the return, that's important. And there's some things you can do to try and ensure that happens, but also starting early enough. And for you to do that, to retire by 67, which is when you get your full Social Security right age. You'd have to start by 24 years old. And I'm like, I know that we're trying to change this. Like, that's the point. We're trying to improve financial literacy in younger generation, in everybody. Yeah. But, starting earlier will just improve quality of life, retirement, everything for everybody. Yeah. But I'm just thinking, I'm like, some people are still in school. They're, they are...
And $400 a month is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Or if you're just starting off in your first job, and paying off student loans. I mean, there's just so many things to consider. I just can't even imagine at 24 having the wherewithal or the means to do that. But
well, I think, and this is where hopefully you can take advantage of an IRA or a 401k. Yeah. And if you work for a company that has a 401k match, that counts as getting towards that $400 a month. Right. So maybe you're only actually putting in $200, but the company's matching that at $200. So you actually are putting in that $400. Right. Which is super important. I think that is one of I had some random higher up in my company when I was in my early 20s. And he was flabbergasted that I hadn't started my 401k because I was like, I didn't think I was going to be there that long. I was like,
Right.
it's fine. I'm good.
Right.
He was like, no, this is free money. You're throwing away.
Right.
Get it started. I'll go to HR
Good
with you
job.
to get it done.
Oh, that's great.
I mean,
that's nice. Someone
he didn't have to. Like, I went the next day and it was fine.
Yeah.
But he checked in on me the next week and it was done.
Yeah.
So it's really important that if you do have that option, and
to
especially
take advantage
if you
of
have
it,
the
for
401k match,
Mm-hmm.
to take advantage of it.
Yep.
And I think this always goes back to how compound interest can really work in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
And the 10.5%, going back to the 10.5% return, is investing in the S&P 500 index fund, which over the last, I think 50 years, they said from 1957 to 2021, had an average return of 10.5%.
Right.
Not every year was 10.5%. Some years were below zero.
But it averages to that over a long period of time.
And that is why they, when people are saying retirement, saving for retirement, it is the long person's game. So you're not trying to day trade, which is, putting money into this stock, hoping it hits, and then putting it into another stock. You're really just trying to get that longevity. And that's where you can really turn $400 a month into $3.3 million over 43 years.
Right. So,
hopefully.
So for those of you who are in your 20s and you're listening to this, you have some serious opportunity. Like, you have time on your hands to do some serious money growth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I did do a little math because I wanted to see what the options would be for my husband. Not to out his age. But if he were to start now, he would get to that 3.3 million when he was 86. So
okay. All right.
He would have a fancy wheelchair.
But maybe he doesn't want to retire until he's 86. I don't know.
That's true. And he might be like,
he might be able to work that long.
He might be doing great. What am I?
Yeah.
And
I think
I don't want to project that out there. He's going to be strong and healthy. 86, he'll be great.
And you never know. Like, the other thing too, and the article doesn't really mention this at all, is that you can play catch up by putting in more money monthly when you're in your 30s or 40s in order to get to that nest egg.
I should have done the math on that. That would have just been depressing.
Well, we saw that on Your Money or Wealth. That's what they showed.
Yeah, they did. They did a very clear breakdown.
They did a very clear breakdown, and I made sure. I actually did the math. I was like, "Oh, am I putting enough?" And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, good. All right. So the moral of the story is: the earlier you start, the less you have to squirrel away monthly.
Yep.
Which is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
So take it from us, start early. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but we will be right back with more hot topics and hot calls. Welcome back, everyone. All right, our next hot topic is from Bloomberg. Should I hoard cash during a crisis?
Oh.
We've had so many crises lately.
Yeah, it seems like every week.
Yeah, it's true. And this has been, I think, a hot topic in a lot of households, especially with what's going on with the war in Ukraine. I know, actually, my mom had mentioned to me that her financial advisor had advised her to pull some money out of the stocks that she was in and have some cash on hand as well, which this article sort of leaves it to, they're like, you have to weigh your own financial situation, really.
Everybody is unique.
Yes, it's very individual. But if you are pulling money that is invested, you need to consider the fact that that money will no longer be generating wealth and how that might affect your long-term goals, your retirement.
Right.
So that's a big factor in your decision making.
Yeah, and I think that it seemed to have a practical way of talking about how you might want to keep a little bit more cash at home than you might normally. But there's no need to pull your 3 to 6 month savings,
right,
emergency fund into cash, according to this article, because then it's not generating any interest for you, any income. It's not working for you at all. It's just sitting there. And in fact, with inflation right now, you're devaluing it by pulling too much cash out of the market or out of your savings.
Right. And the article suggests a very modest amount, actually. They said between 400 and 1,000 in cash.
Yeah. And that kind of depends on your lifestyle. Like, can you get through a couple of weeks on that amount of cash? Do you feel like you need a little bit more because you're fancy?
Right.
And this is in case there is a major disruption in banking or in the power grid, or perhaps, we've definitely heard that
there's some fear of like the cyber warfare
from
retaliation
Russia,
because of the sanctions. So yeah, I can understand. I mean, I felt it for sure. You're like, ooh, what's going to happen? But it was funny when I was reading the article, and they said to take out, it's recommended to take out between, 400 and 1,000, just for like necessities. But the way it was worded, it said you could still get staples or necessary items for a short time. And I read it, staples. I was like, that's such a weird example. Like how many staples? Like, that's not the first thing I would get or like think that I need, in like a crisis. But then I was like, oh, maybe
they make all those packets. Like, you need to get all those documents together and make those packets. Yeah. Can't rely on paper clips, people. We need staples.
Just staples and necessary items, along with other necessary items. I was very like thrown by that, and I thought it was so funny. And then I started laughing at myself because I was like, oh, I think they mean like staple items in the house. Okay. Yeah. I was like, just misliteral over here. Yeah. So load up on your staples.
Right.
It's like toilet paper over the pandemic.
Exactly.
All over again, but with staples. Who knows? I don't even know if we have I don't think we have a stapler. All right. Well, now that everyone's thinking about what to do with their money in a crisis and getting staples, just in case, we're going to let you marinate on that while we take a quick commercial break, but we will be right back to talk about Healthy Wealthy Wednesday. Welcome back, everyone. It is your favorite day of the week, and I'm sure you already know why. It's because it's Healthy Wealthy Wednesday. All right, Hillary, take it away. Give us some money tips that are going to make us all financially safe and savvy.
Well, this one actually has to do with record keeping. So a lot of people have gotten their financial records together for filing taxes. Whether you did that in January, whether you did it this month in April, or you're doing it right now because taxes are due April 18th. You have most likely gone through all your records for the past year. So now is the great time to get a financial record system in place. Are you going to save all the paper copies in a safe and secure location? Like maybe you get a file cabinet that has a lock so that you can get access to it, but maybe your kids aren't going to get into it and try and use your medical records as drawing paper. Or
it's a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, it may or may not have happened to me. But that way you have it in a safe location. It's all together. And then if you ever need to go back and reference it for whatever reason, you have it there together. Some people like to keep digital copies, which is great. Just make sure that it's also in a secure location, like password protected, saved on either in the cloud or however you want to save it, but make sure that it's not very easy for people who might want that personal information to get to it.
I love that this is the tip this week. It is so relevant right now in our household. And it's so funny because my mom was visiting, she was helping with the baby. And she saw the paper chaos that was happening around the house. We have little piles because we've been organizing for taxes, and we have little piles through like on all of the tables that have been there for about a week. And she said, hey, I have this idea. Maybe you just get rid of this big plant here in the corner and you get just one big tall filing cabinet where you can really organize, all of this paperwork. And I, of course, like, you just don't want to hear it. But then, I was like, you're absolutely right. We need like a system in this house because it is just out of control. Because there's so much to keep track of.
There's so much.
Yeah. And you think in your head, you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I've got this. And then when it comes down to it, you're like, It's too much.
And if you have a system in place that makes it easier, if you have to go back and reference things, or if you need the access to them again, it just getting things put away properly and starting that out for the coming years just is so much easier.
It will alleviate that financial stress that we all feel this time of year and all the time, really. So.
Exactly.
Good tip. I like that.
Thanks.
All right, everyone, please don't miss today's episodes of Estate Planning 101, the blockchain interviews, and the business of. We must never forget. And you can see all these episodes on
Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, or on the ROI TV app for your iOS or Android phone.
That's right. So please remember to tune in tomorrow and join us with another cup of coffee on Coffee with Kem Hills.